We have got Miss Felicity Huffman here from Desperate Housewives. Felicity, good morning.
Good morning, Big J. It feels really weird to call you Big J. Does anyone just ever call you J?
Yeah, they do. You can totally go with J. Really, you're kind of, anybody that's as big as you, Academy Award nominee, Emmy Award winner, you can call me whatever you want. You can call me Jerry. That works.
I could call you Medium J.
You
Little
could.
J.
You could. Anything. Well, you wouldn't see me and call me Little J, but it works.
Okay.
I'll take it. You were saying before we went on the air here, you're familiar with Billings, Montana?
I am. I love Billings, Montana. I spent a bunch of time up in Sheridan, Wyoming, and we would go down to Billings every so often. And when I go there to visit, sometimes we fly into Billings, and I love it.
Very cool. What do you guys do? Just kind of R&R and little time up in the good outdoors?
My sister has a ranch. One of my sisters, I have a lot of them, has a ranch up in Sheridan. Her name's Jessie Huffman. I had a cowboy boyfriend for a while, so I'd go down and visit him for about 4 years. That was named Martin McCarty.
Nice.
And now we just go to, there's a great dude ranch up there called Eaton's, so we come there every year.
Very cool. How did you go from a cowboy to William H. Macy?
Well, William's kind of got a cowboy soul, what can I say?
Does he really? He strikes me as a little more like, I always think of cowboys as like rough and tough and outdoorsy, and I think of William as more of like an intellectual type.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't seem to me like rough and tough, like throwing hay bales and out cutting the grass. He seems like reading a book.
Actually, Bill is a carpenter, so he's more of a sort of a carpenter guy. I don't know, I grew up in Colorado. My sister lives in Montana. I went up to visit her. I met a cowboy. I fell in love, and there I was for 4 years.
Very cool. I like hearing stories like that from behind the scenes. Let's talk about the stories, though. I know a lot of people are listening to hear about Desperate Housewives. Sundays, 8 o'clock here in Billings on ABC. Tell us a little bit about this season. What's Lynette up to this season?
Well, it's the last season, as we all know, Kiss Them Goodbye, and I think that affords the writers an opportunity to go places where they couldn't before, i.e. Tom and Lynette are broken up right now. I don't know if they're going to get back together. With every new script, I keep expecting, they'll be back together now, and they're not. The friendship of the four women is really being pulled apart by the mystery, by Gabby's stepfather that they buried in the woods. So I don't know if those friendships are going to hold tight. It kind of depends on how they're going to end the whole shebang. And I'm not sure if it's going to be a everything works out kind of ending, or because they can, things fall apart. Maybe housewives die. So I do know that the writers are rejuvenated and excited and writing backwards from the end of the show. So anything can happen this year, and that's exciting for us.
Yeah, definitely. Do you guys, as actresses on the show, actors and actresses, do you have any say, since you've been with these characters for so many years, do you have any say about what happens? Like, can you put in feedback, I see Lynette doing this, or is it completely up to the writers and you just take their work and interpret it?
I know a lot of actors have ideas. I am not one of those actors. I sort of take what they give me, and if I have questions about it, I'll go ask them. But we're in really good hands, and they're wonderful writers. So pretty much we take it. Well, I shouldn't say we. I take it as it lays. I know there are a lot of actors that go down and talk to the writers a lot more than I do.
But that's good. It's probably, they got their job, you got your job, and you kind of you do your thing, and you do it well.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the most you can do is sort of, if it doesn't make sense to you, you can go, how come last week I was doing this, and this week I'm doing that? And either they go, I didn't think of that, or then they explain it to you, and you do your job and jolly well go off and say the lines in order.
Exactly. What the show was originally supposed to go 9 seasons, right?
No, I don't know about supposed to. They were toying with it going 9 seasons. And, what actually is respectful of ABC is a lot of times they go, yeah, let's just keep going until we write it until it dies. And that means that at any point the network can go, the ratings aren't great, we're going to cancel it. And then everyone's scrambling and you sort of have the rug pulled out from under you. But what ABC did was, okay, we're not going to push it as far as we possibly could because we want to give you guys a send-off. We want people are sad that it's ending as opposed to, boy, I can't, we're glad that that's off the air.
Yeah.
And they gave the writers a chance to, know when the ending was and work backwards and really wrap it up in the style and the respect that it deserves. So it's a good thing, although it's sad. At least it's sad for me.
Good explanation. What do you have on the burner after this? Anything planned? Are you going to take some time off? Other projects you're looking at? Movies, TV? What's in the works?
Well, I wanted to take some time off. I was going, yes, I'm going to take a lot of time off, and then I realized I'm in a freelance business, so you take too much time off, and your time off is permanent.
Yeah.
You're not in between jobs. You're out of work. So I'm going to take a little time off, and I'm producing a couple things. I've got a couple independent movies lined up. So I'm hoping those come to fruition. Otherwise, I'll be opening malls across America.
Is the independent films, are you producing those, or are you acting in those?
I'm acting in those. It looks like hopefully I'll be producing some television.
And what's with the acting for somebody that's of your level? And I'm not, puffing you up here. I'm sure you know your status. As somebody with a name and a face, as recognizable as you, why choose independent films like this instead of doing, a bigger film, which I'm sure you could probably score a role in? Are you that passionate about the work, or is this just what came up?
It's the stories that interest me. It's what am I going to actually... It takes a lot to... not to make acting sound like truly hard work. There really are hard jobs out there, and acting is not one of them. But the amount of work and the backstory and the homework that it takes to do a part, you want it to be a story that interests you and a character that captivates your sensibilities and also your soul. So that usually comes in the form of an independent film.
What was Transamerica? That's the one you got the Golden Globe for and nominated for the Oscar. Was that a film that kind of started out with that independent feel, or did you know that was going to be major from the beginning?
Oh my God, that's the most independent film you can imagine. They did it for $5. We shot a lot of it at the director's mother's house. Wow. And different friends across the country. He was like, we're going to shoot at my friend's ranch. Kevin Ziers and I were kept shooting, going, well, this movie's never going to go anywhere. Nobody's ever going to see this, but it sure is fun. So it was an independent movie, really, until that kingmaker Harvey Weinstein got a hold of it.
So really, when I think independent film, I think something like, it'll get shopped around to a few festivals. You'll show it to your friends. Some very niche crowd will get into it, but I don't think of like a film that could end up being nominated for an Oscar. So you're saying if the work's good enough, anything can really rise to the top and become step out of that independent bubble.
It really can. I think that's why there's somewhat of a mining for gold mentality in Hollywood. It's not exactly a meritocracy. Everyone's just looking for the next vein of gold. You go, I think it's going to be this, because anything can rise to the top. It's getting harder because financing for independent films is getting harder, because there's actually a glut on the market. 7 things used to open over a weekend, and now 30 films are opening over a weekend. But even though it's become more difficult, it is still possible.
We're talking to Felicity Huffman here. You were talking about producing TV. What about, what do you think of reality TV? Is that something you shy away from? I know a lot of actors don't get into the reality TV, and I don't know as much about your acting background, but I know Bill, your husband's very hardcore actor guy. I studied theater down in Denver for a while, and it's a lot of the training came from Mammoth. Yeah, I went down to the Denver Center Theater Academy, and there was teachers that were teaching Mammoth stuff, and they're like, I actually studied with William H. Macy in the room teaching me this technique. And
okay, well, he never taught in Denver. Maybe they taught with maybe that was New York or Chicago.
They were in somewhere else, and then the teacher comes to Denver, and that's their claim to fame, is that they've worked with William H. Macy studying in the past. So I know he's a very serious actor. I wondered, I'm assuming you're pretty serious as well. Would you ever get into reality TV, or are you going to stick to good stories and things like that?
It's just not something that I'm trained in, or that catches my attention. I wouldn't exactly. I can't imagine myself doing it.
Yeah,
that said, talk to me in 2 years, where it's like Felicity Huffman at home.
Yeah, exactly. What about Dancing with the Stars? Is there some? Would you be a part of something like that in the future?
I've always wanted to do Dancing with the Stars, and then a friend of mine, Jennifer Grey, did it and won. And she came back and said, it is the hardest thing you will ever do. I loved it. It was one of the great things in my life, but it is really hard, so make sure you're ready. And I'm not ready.
That's good that you're in touch with yourself well enough to know, I'm not ready to put in that much time and energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't quite do that yet.
All right. Well, at some point, maybe we'll see you on Dancing with the Stars, and we'll keep our eyes open for all the projects you're working on in the future, and we'll definitely check out this final season of Desperate Housewives. Sundays, 8 o'clock on ABC. Felicity Huffman, thanks so much for being on the show. Tell the family hi, enjoy your time off, and hopefully we'll see you in the airport up here sometime.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
All right. Have a good morning. Bye-bye.
You too, bye.
The Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.